Pickle and Peanut, Part 1. An Introduction. Pickle and Peanut were the most unlikely of friends, but they became the best of friends. Peanut was grown on a peanut tree out in a peanut farm when the farmer came and harvested and picked all the peanuts, roasted them in a big vat to roast them, and poured a white substance on top of them. Peanut had no idea what it was, and he licked his lips. Salty. He had been roasted and salted. Eventually, he was put into a bag and put in a grocery store or a shop on a shelf where the children's parents came, bought him, and brought him home. One day, the children wanted peanuts, and so the mum took out the bag, opened it, put it in a bowl on the table, and the children were eating their peanuts. And as children eat peanuts, we all know, they drop food on the floor, and one of the peanuts rolled away. That was our Peanut, and he didn't want to be eaten, so he found a little hole underneath the kitchen counters and ran underneath it, and there he hid and lived with the dust and the dirt and the little creepy crawlies in between the crevices. But that's okay. Now, Pickle was a pickle in a mason jar that lived in a fridge, and so the children also wanted pickles. The mum took out the pickles, put them in a bowl, and let the children eat the pickles. And then, as happens accidentally, one pickle fell on the floor. The pickle rolled toward a crevice where Peanut happened to be hiding. The pickle stood up, and Peanut stared at Pickle, and Pickle stared at Peanut. Peanut said, "Run, run, they're going to find you." He ran into the crevice, and the children looked down on the floor, but they couldn't find the pickle. They carried on eating. And there it was, Pickle and Peanut. Peanut looked at Pickle. "You look really wet. And what's that smell?" I'm a pickle. See, I was growing on a vine with other cucumbers, and then I was picked and harvested and put inside a mason jar. What? said Peanut. A mason jar? You mean a glass jar? Yeah, said Pickle. And then they put vinegar and salt and coriander seeds and dill, and well, I'm a little cucumber, so I soaked in all the vinegar juice. So now I'm a pickle? Oh, said Peanut. You're dripping juice everywhere. Yeah, that's what I do. I'm a pickle. And so it was that Pickle and Peanut were the best of friends. They would listen to the children. The children would talk about brushing their teeth in something called a bathroom with toothpaste. And so it was that we have their first adventure. At night, everyone was asleep. Pickle and Peanut decided to find the bathroom. They went into the bathroom, and I don't know how Pickle and Peanut managed to get there because it's a pickle and a peanut, but they did. They got into the bathroom, they somehow climbed onto the counter, and they found the toothpaste. They saw the mirror, and to them, the mirror looked like water. They decided they were going to go surfing. They squirted the toothpaste all over the mirror. They flung themselves on it, and thankfully the toilet lid was shut, because the amount of times that they fell onto the toilet, had it been open, it wouldn't have been good, kids. We must always remember to shut the toilet and flush, okay? Just for hygiene. In any case, toothpaste all over the mirror, all on the toilet lid, all down the bath, all on the floor. Pickle and Peanut had a great time surfing. They think that they were the best of they're the best surfers in the world. Obviously, well, they're a pickle and a peanut. And so it was, at the end of their surfing adventure, they hid in the little cupboard in the bathroom. And lo and behold, when morning came and the parents woke up their kids for school and they went into the bathroom, horror. The parents were mortified. How could you squeeze toilet? How could you squeeze toothpaste all over the floor? Why would you do this? The mum was very, very upset. The dad said, maybe calm down a bit, babe. The children were like, we didn't do it, Mummy, we didn't do it. But the children got awfully told off that day, and Mummy spent a long time cleaning. And while Daddy had to give them a good talking to, the kids, telling them not to do that again. Pickle and Peanut, in the meantime, were just hiding in the cupboard. The next time we see Pickle and Peanut, they have now heard about soap and washing suds and a washing machine. In this house, we live in the States, and so our washing machine and our dryer are in our garage. I know in the UK and in other places, the washing machine can be in the kitchen. That when I was back in the UK, it was in the kitchen. But for the sake of my story, it's in the garage. So Pickle and Peanut somehow made their way into the garage. The back door in the house was open to the garage. And that night, they went into the garage and they found the washing machine. Well, they had heard about laundry soap or laundry detergent or washing powder, whatever you want to call it. And they threw the whole bottle into the washing machine. They then pressed the on button, and they were clever not to fall inside because it wouldn't have been very good for a pickle or a peanut. And the machine started, and lo and behold, soap suds, masses and masses of soap suds pouring all out of the washing machine, all over the garage, and Pickle and Peanut went bubble busting. That's right. All the bubbles that the washing machine created, they jumped on it and burst it, and they were having a whale of a time bursting bubbles. But you know what happened to the garage, don't we, children? Soap suds everywhere, all over the floor, leaking into the boxes, all over the stuff that is kept nice and neat in the garage. And when the parents woke up the next morning and the children, and they got ready for school, and they opened the garage to get into their car, there was a gasp. Mummy, we didn't do it, the children said. Mummy said, no, I know you didn't do it because this is crazy. What's going on? The parents and the children all looked at each other. What could this be? Pickle and Peanut were hiding once again in the corner behind the washing machine, watching the commotion. Wow. There was a big clean-up to do that day. The next time we see Pickle and Peanut, what are they doing? There were 3 children in this house, 2 older girls and 1 young boy. The 2 older sisters had princess dresses because everybody likes a princess dress. Little tiaras, little bows. The children were at school and Mummy and Daddy were out of the house. And so it was that Pickle and Peanut saw the princess dresses. We know what they're going to do, don't we? They wanted to dress up in tiaras and have a princess outfit. So of course they put the princess outfit on. Bearing in mind they're a pickle and a peanut. So one princess dress was covered in pickle juice and one just had flakes of salt. But that's not where it ends. The 2 girl children loved glitter and they loved glue and slime. And so Pickle and Peanut, wearing the princess dress, 1 pink and 1 yellow for a particular princess, and you know, we know which princesses they are, don't we? They threw the glitter all over the floor with the glue and the slime, covering their whole selves with glitter and glue. And then eventually they were very sticky and they needed to clean themselves. So they threw off the dress and just threw it wherever. One landed in this very big plant right here. And one landed right over there on the desk, dripping with glue and glitter. Now, I don't know how your daddies are, but the children's daddy does not like glitter. And glitter was all over the floor in the house with glue. When Mummy came back that day after picking up their children from school, she was not happy, and the 2 girl children, they cried so much. So sad. Mummy, Daddy, even the little boy in the house looked. Oh no. Will you buy us another dress? Can we have more dresses? We didn't do this. We didn't do this. It's okay, the parents said. We will get you another dress and we'll clean this up. But we honestly don't know what is going on in our home. First the bathroom, then the garage, and now this. What's happening? Pickle and Peanut were hiding in one of the plants. Let's say that plant over there. They were hiding in the plant pot, watching. The little boy child had lots of cars. He especially loved garbage trucks, fire engines, anything with wheels, basically, he loved. One day, as he was playing, he left his fire truck and his garbage truck right next to that plant. Pickle and Peanut climbed out, decided they were going to sit in the car. They'd never had an adventure in a little car before. I mean, they'd seen the big massive car in the garage, massive to them, normal to us, but it had been covered in soap suds, so. This car wasn't dirty. What they didn't realise was the little boy was a normal little boy. He took the car and played with it very roughly. He didn't notice that there was a pickle or a peanut inside because they had tucked themselves inside. Well, the fire engine, Pickle, was inside the fire engine. The fire engine went up, it went down, it went out, it went in, it was all over the place. Pickle was feeling sick. Peanut was in the garbage truck. He thought it was clever to hide in the garbage disposal pot in the back of the truck. Wow, that guy shook around, and he definitely felt sick. The little boy took his cars and his trucks, his fire engine, his garbage truck, rubbish truck I like to say, and put it outside in the back garden and played in the mud and played in the grass, went up and went down, all over the place until Pickle and Peanut felt incredibly sick. And when the little boy turned around to play with his shovel, they decided to get out and they threw themselves into the bushes and hid there. It so happened the boy didn't even notice. And when it was time to come in for nap time, "Come in, son, for nap time," Mum said. "Bring all your toys." She picked up the toys, obviously, because he's a toddler. He's not really going to pick up his toys, is he? I mean, he picks up 1 or 2, but let's be real. I helped him pick up the rest of the toys, put him down for a nap. And that was the last time Pickle and Peanut were in the house. Thank goodness, because, we can't have any more mess inside the house now, can we? But in their bush, they were hiding, and they noticed a skunk. The skunk's name was Blossom. She was kind of partial to a pickle and a peanut. She quite liked to eat food. She sniffed at them. And then they said, "Don't eat us, please don't eat us." "You're alive," she said. "Of course we're alive. I'm a pickle, I'm a peanut." She said, "I'm Blossom. I won't eat you." And they told her all about their adventures in the house. And she looked at them. "Why would you do that?" And they looked at her and they said, "Isn't that what we do?" She said, "Don't do that here. You can stay with me in my little burrow under the bush. But don't do that in my house, and be careful, okay?" "All right," they said. And there you have it, children. Pickle and Peanut. The end.